Question: does experience matter in the playoffs? If you said yes, OKC are here to prove you wrong. Led by MVP finalist Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the Thunder have achieved the unthinkable, becoming the youngest one seed in the history of the NBA. So let's find out, can the most talented young team in the league's history take down Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving's Dallas Mavericks? The Mavericks were my dark horse to win the title, and so far they've done nothing to change my mind. The mid-season transformation by Dallas is truly remarkable. Initially starting the season as an offensive-focused team, solely relying on outscoring opponents, but after the trades they evolved into a well-rounded title contender, excelling on both sides of the floor. Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington are the main contributing factors, leading to an elite team defense, as PJ especially is a great one-on-one defender, while he also made 31% of his threes against the Clippers in the first round, spacing the floor. Although Gafford isn't a three-point shooter, he has been the center that Porzingis was supposed to be to play alongside Luka Doncic. Gafford is a great defender, as he blocks 2 shots a game while being an effective finisher. For both PJ and Gafford, their athleticism stands out as the most valuable asset they've brought to the team. As before the moves, the Mavs look slow and predictable, but now they really get out and run, making them much harder to guard in transition, giving their offense a boost also. Before the trades, the Mavericks defense was terrible, giving up 117 points a night, which was good for 22nd worst in the league. But after the deadline moves, the Mavericks defense almost overnight became elite, only allowing 110 points per game, which puts them 7th best in the league. Even though the offense was pretty good before the trades, ranking 12th overall, it too saw an improvement, moving up to 4th. While the centerpieces around this elite offense is still the backcourt duo of Luka and Kyrie Irving. Both Luka and Kyrie are having the best seasons of their careers statistically. And for Irving, the eye test backs it up too, putting up 26 points on 50% shooting, playing the role as Luka's number 2 perfectly. In the Clippers series, it was Kyrie who was the best Maverick, as Luka was struggling with his shot. Over the course of 6 games, Kyrie upped his numbers to 27 points on 51% shooting, while making his threes at an effective 44% clip, leading the Mavs to the second round of the playoffs to play the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder stood on business against the New Orleans Pelicans, crushing them in 4 straight games. Even though some had their doubts, this is what a 1 seed versus an 8 seed matchup is supposed to look like. With SGA being only 25 years old and Jalen Williams being 22, this Thunder team is historically young to be a 1 seed. So young in fact that they are the youngest 1 seed in the history of the NBA, and so far they have not disappointed. The Thunder, similar to Dallas, are great on both sides of the ball, ranking as the 3rd best offense while holding teams to 112 points per game, which ranks 2nd, actually being a better two-way team than the Mavericks. But the Thunder's primary concern remains in their lack of experience. However, their impressive performance in the first round has silenced many critics, yet it remains a potential issue to contend in this series. With SGA embarking on his best season as a pro, being an MVP finalist with averages of 35 and 6 with 2 steals on 53% shooting, he is truly a top 3 guard in the league. His proficiency in the mid-range game poses a significant threat to the Mavs defense, boasting an impressive 50% shooting accuracy from that range. The only aspect of his game that concerns me though is his inconsistent 3-point shooting, with a modest 35% accuracy on low volume. However, he has demonstrated in the past that he can step it up, making crucial shots from beyond the arc when his team needs him to. Many media members were pushing the Thunder to go out and sign a 2nd star. However, they already have one, as J-Dub has been elite in only year number 2, putting up 20 points a game on 54% shooting, and maybe the most impressive part of it all has been the 3-point shooting, making 43% on volume. Despite standing at only 6'5" while playing the power forward position, his high energy play style erases any of these concerns, playing a similar style to a younger Kawhi Leonard. Similar to Kawhi, he excels as a mid-range sniper, hitting 43% of his shots, and has perfectly stepped up as Shai's reliable 2nd option. In a series with so much star power at the guard positions, matchups will be crucial. For the Thunder, Lu Dort is a defensive menace, as against Brandon Ingram in the first round, he held him to 14 points on a terrible 34% shooting. With his size and speed, Dort can guard 1 through 4, but in this series he'll take the challenge of guarding Luka Doncic. This is about as good of a matchup on Luka you could get, as the battle between Dort and Luka may be a deciding factor in the series. If Dort keeps Doncic below 40% from the field, the Mavericks are in serious trouble. But what is perhaps more troubling is how Dallas guards SGA. Derrick Jones Jr. is the most likely matchup because of his length and quickness, but PJ Washington might even see time on Shai. Herb Jones posed a formidable threat to Shai in the first round, resulting in a decrease of his scoring down to 27 points a game. Despite this, Shai still remained incredibly impactful throughout the series, averaging 5 assists per night. However, the primary worry for OKC lies at the big man position. At times, Chet was outmatched by Jonas Valanciunas in the Pelicans series, notably in Game 1 where Valanciunas grabbed 20 rebounds over Chet, many of these which were offensive. With the absence of a traditional center in the Thunder's lineup, they ranked 28th in offensive rebounding and 29th in defensive rebounding, exposing a clear weakness. Given Chet's struggles against physically imposing centers, Gafford aims to exert extreme physicality, forcing Chet to fight for every rebound. In the regular season, the Thunder and the Mavericks faced off 4 times, with OKC emerging victorious in 3 of the matchups. However, Luka and Kyrie were only able to play in 1 game, and that was the one they won. But this doesn't really tell us much about the series, as half of these games also came before the Mavericks made their deadline moves. As much as the media will drive a SGA versus Luka series, which will likely be a matchup we're going to see for years to come, modern NBA defenses aren't that simple. As much as we would love to see a Shai versus Luka one-on-one match, that won't be possible. As explained earlier, Dort will likely guard Luka and vice versa. The X factor for the Thunder in this series is undoubtedly Jalen Williams. Averaging 20 points per game in the regular season, his ability to stretch the floor and orchestrate offense makes him a significant threat. With exceptional ball handling skills, J-Dub consistently finds his spots on the court, as showcased against the Pelicans, where he averaged 21 points a game on an efficient 52% shooting. His standout performance was in Game 4, where he put up 24 points, 2 steals, and a block on 52% shooting, including a late 3 to seal the victory on the road. As if he could provide just one of these games, he has the potential to dominate the series at just 22 years old. For the Mavericks, their X factor lies in the role players. Because the team is still relatively new, potential chemistry issues could arise during the series. It's crucial for players like Derek Jones Jr., PJ Washington, and Maxi Kleber to be consistently knocking down their open threes, while Gafford must contribute offensively. While Luka and Kyrie are expected to deliver their standout performances, the team's success rides on the consistency of its supporting cast. If the role players fail to stand up and the Mavericks defense falters, they risk losing multiple games in the series even if Kyrie and Luka are playing well. Dallas needs consistent contributions from its supporting cast to present a formidable challenge to the Thunder. Otherwise, OKC will maintain control throughout the series. To make a prediction between a newly constructed roster and the youngest team to ever win a playoff series is tough. But for me, if Luka and Kyrie can get out and run, utilizing the transition game, the Mavericks will win the series in 6 or 7. But if the Thunder's inexperience isn't an issue, I'll take OKC in 6 or 7. But to make my final prediction, I'll take the Oklahoma City Thunder in 7 games. Who do you have coming out of this series, the Mavericks or the Thunder? Let me know in the comments below.